There you go. There you go. We got to see your face. We got to see your face.
Let me see which lighting is better. I'm in my car. Which one's better?
It's good as long as we can see your face.
All right.
So I want to tell everyone, thanks for tuning in. We got a very, very important, informative live today. We're going to be talking about COPE. We're going to be talking about PAC. I'm going to explain all of those things today and how it could benefit you, especially during these times where it seemed like politicians is just not listening to us. We may be funding the politicians that's going against our best interests. And it's going to be very important that we talk these things out. And I need you guys to ask whatever questions you need to ask. If you need to come, if you want to come and join the broadcast, just ask the hop in, and we're going to try to keep a rotation like that if you have any questions that you want to ask. For this, we're going to be featuring Bravest for Choice, which is, why don't you tell the people who you are?
All right, Tramel. Hello, everybody. My name is Sophie Medina, and I'm a New York City firefighter. And I'm here on behalf of Bravest for Choice. So, Bravest for Choice started after we heard about in the fire department. We have a day of memoriam for firefighters who have passed on line of duty and off line of duty. And on that same day, we heard about these mandates that were coming to civil servants, first responders, cops, etc. And right after that, Bravest for Choice was made because we didn't feel like we were being heard. We felt like this was something that was going to come. And we were just trying to get ahead of the eight ball. And unfortunately, we weren't. But we're still fighting the good fight.
Exactly. I feel honored to be interviewing a firefighter, especially a woman firefighter. That's so dope. Salute to you. Salute to you.
Thanks.
But like I said, we're going to be talking about COPE and PAC. What is COPE? COPE is an acronym that stands for Committee on Political Education, and PAC stands for Political Action Committee. Basically, if you are part of any labor union, you are more than likely contributing to COPE. Now, COPE could show up on different things on your check. Like in my union, it shows up as transport workers local union. I think for your union, it shows up as fire PAC, fire PAC, and it
Correct.
would it would it would show up as something like that in your check in your after tax deductions. I believe for most of us. So um, we all know what's going on here. We got these mandates. Us as city workers, civil servants, we feel like the politicians betrayed us. We feel like they turned their back on us and they not representing all of our best interests. It seemed like another mechanism is controlling all of these politicians and even our union. A union is supposed to be for everyone. They're not really supposed to choose a side. And in my opinion, unions haven't been as democratic as they should be. And I'm going to explain to you guys through the COPE how aren't they democratic. So what COPE basically is, COPE is, like I said, Committee on Political Education. Now, a lot of people don't even know that this exists. Just listen to the name, Committee on Political Education. And I'm gonna ask Sophie, um, did you know this thing exists in your union and you've been with the fire department for what, 14 years or something like that, right?
Right.
Have,
I never even thought about it until this month. Until we heard about that our unions, the UFA and the UFOA, had endorsed Governor Hochul. That's when I started looking into that. And that's when I realized, oh, this thing on my check that says Fire Pack, that's what that is. I had to look it up.
yeah, so and that's what I mean. Think about it. It's called Committee on Political Education, and the unions is not even taking a time to educate the members on what it really is. So what these COPE funds do, first of all, they're separate from your union dues. People think that COPE is connected to your union dues, but it's actually illegal for the union to donate from our union dues to a campaign or a political organization. So they create all these other like COPE. They create things like COPE in which to give to the politicians, in which COPE is voluntary. So a lot of people don't even realize that they signed into COPE. Why? Because when we first get these jobs, we're excited that, we transit workers, we're teachers, we're firefighters, we're sanitation workers, we're police officers, we're excited. They usually get us within that first day of orientation. They get us while we signing away our life. That's what I call it. When we signing away our life, we signing all these papers. Little do you know, the union is there, and they having you sign up for COPE. That's how they did it in my union. And they have to do it like that in your union because it's voluntary. It's not mandatory to donate to the COPE. And a lot of people don't even know that they're giving into COPE. And what's the significance? That money from COPE goes to politicians. That's how your union endorses politicians. So when you hear your union say, I'm endorsing so-and-so, that means that they are supposed to do a voter drive to get all their members to vote towards that particular candidate. But it also means that the candidates are receiving money from that union. It could be $1,000, $500 to $10,000. I'm gonna show you guys different donations from different unions so you guys can get an understanding. So, how would you feel as a union member that you're holding the line? You don't want to get vaccinated, and the politician that your union is giving money to is going against your particular best interest. How would you feel about that, Sophie?
Well, I think that's the feeling that a lot of people have right now once we heard that our unions endorsed Hochul, because it was about a day after that she just said that boosters were going to be mandated for healthcare workers. And if we follow the timeline of before, the mandates came first for the healthcare workers, then the teachers, then for the first responders, civil servants, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
how do you not see that happening again? And why are we publicly endorsing her? Why wouldn't we take a knee on this, you know?
I mean, see, that's very important that you mention that. How would you go about taking a knee to or not taking a knee to politicians? Everyone know that politicians, they make their moves on money. Without no money, they can't make no moves, right? So that's one of the
Right.
first ways that, let me see, somebody else want to come on. I'll try to get her on. One of the first moves that you would make is to pull back from that cope money.
Good
Hello,
evening.
how you doing?
Good
Good evening.
evening.
Yeah. What's your name and where are you from?
Brooklyn, New York.
What kind of work do you do?
I work for National Grid.
National Grid, okay. So feel free to ask any questions that you need to ask to if you not familiar with what's going on. So
I
yeah,
kind of got an idea, but I'm gonna continue to listen.
all right. Yeah, so with COPE and political action, your union is donating the money to the politicians and is member driven and is voluntary. So my thing is when people are needs are not being met or they feel like they're being betrayed by politicians, one way to get the attention of your union and the politicians is to say, hey, you know what? There's about 5,000 of us that don't agree with these mandates and we don't agree with what these politicians are doing. So what do we do? A lot of people like to say the easiest thing. The easiest thing is that we need to start our own union. We need to leave this union and start our own union. In my opinion, that's not the best route because people don't understand how hard that is. To decertify your union, you have to get a certain amount of signatures from the membership. Then you have to go 1 year without union representation, which means that you become an at-will employee. Your company could basically fire you, discipline you, whichever way they want to, because you won't have union representation. And then you get union representation after that. A lot of people like to say it, let's get a new union. It's very hard, it's very costly, and it would take a lot to do that, right? One way you could affect your union in the way that they think and these politicians is to pull back on the COPE, Committee on Political Education. That's one way how you do it. And there's many functions of COPE. Now I'm not gonna sit here and act like COPE is not important. COPE is very important when used properly. One of my one major issue I have with COPE and unions is that the unions do not um, ask the members who would you want to support? Who do you think that we should give money to? How much money do you think that we should give to this person? They make the decisions themselves, and they probably feel like, you know what, you elected us, so we have the right to go out and pick whoever we feel is right for the unions. But let's be honest, and I'm gonna speak for my union. I can't speak for yours, Sophie. And Con Edison have a union also, right?
Yes,
All
101.
right, all right, local 101. So I can speak for my union. My union, they pick whoever they want to pick. They pick people the people who are paying attention to politics that we don't get along with. So what did I do? I started a boycott COPE drive. I got hundreds of members to get out of COPE, and we got the union attention. To be like, all right, something isn't right here. He's working against us, and we're not going to have a lot of money to donate to politicians. The UFT, they donate millions of dollars every campaign cycle to politicians, and it'll be very hard for them to stop COPE because they got so many members. But we could start somewhere. But someone like uh, the UFA, how many members is in the UFA, Sophie?
There's about 11,000 firefighters and fire officers in New York City. So probably around 9,000 firefighters and the rest officers.
Now that's a workable number. That's a workable number. You guys did a rally across the Brooklyn Bridge and pulled probably like 10,000 people, right? And the reality of what's going on now, and uh, why people are crossing the line, if you want to call it crossing the line, is because a lot of people cannot maintain holding the line. A lot of people got bills to pay. They got families to take care of. And, they had to go back. That doesn't mean that they happy that they had to go back, and under the circumstances that they had to go back to. Everybody who crossed the line, they are not we're going to say anti-vaxxers, enemies, or whatever the case is. They may still be upset, and I guarantee you that they still may be upset. And this is the time to reach out to them to um effect COPE. So what I have, did I explain? You guys have any questions on COPE so far? Any of the functions of it or anything like that?
Is there a way to find out exactly the amounts that different unions have donated and to whom, and how much, and where this money went?
Oh yes, that's easy to find out, and that is a great question. So they have something called um, they have some well they got different websites where you could check this out. They got something called Open Secrets. Actually, on the campaign finance board, they have a link up there that's called Follow the Money. You could literally follow the money, and the only thing that you need to
Okay.
do is enter your union name. So I'm going to show you guys. Let me see this right here. Let me see what this one is. This is for teachers. Let me find one for firefighters. Okay.
The website you said is called Open Secrets?
It's called Open. No, this one is only thing you need to search for, the easiest one is the campaign finance board. That's the simplest one.
Okay.
Campaign finance board. Google search that, and then nyccfb.info will come up. That's the name of that. And you could Google your union, and it will show you who they have gave money to. So look, this is for the firefighters right here. This is for the firefighters. This is what you get when you pull up for the firefighters. There's many pages, but I'm just showing you guys an example of what it looked like. And it shows you the recipient. It shows you the date that they gave the money, and it shows the amount. And it explains, or you get a picture of who your union is supporting behind the scenes, because a lot of people don't even know who their union support politically. And that's very important. And to the people out there who like to say, oh, I don't like to get into politics, let me explain something to you guys. Politics control every aspect of your job. Politics control your wages. Politics control your health care. Politics control your work rules. So who your union supporting is very, very important to the function of your job, your livelihood, everything. So stop saying that you don't want to get involved with politics. I get it. Sometimes politics is hard to follow and understand all these different personalities. But in order for us to get better and for our unions to get stronger, we must pay attention to the politics of our union. A lot of us spend more time at work than we do at home. So why wouldn't you pay attention to the politics that control your life, basically? So yeah, so one of the websites is just Google search Campaign Finance Board. The website is nyccfb.info. You can also Google search Open Secrets, and that will come up. So another thing, like this is from the UFT. Every union actually got this on their website. If you Google your union, you can actually find the page. This is from the UFT, Political Action and COPE. Sophie, your union have this also. It's a very small section. These sections are not even big for the impact that it have on your life. These sections are not even big, and these unions don't even explain the function of what the COPE is, what the PAC is, Political Action Committee, and there are actual committees in your union that control this, that decide on these things. And like I said, one way to get their attention is to boycott the COPE. If you feel that your union is not taking your particular interest serious, if you feel like a politician is not taking your particular interest serious, then it's only right that you pull out of it. Now, Sophie, I believe your union, it's funny, your union gave money to Hochul before as the lieutenant governor. So they're definitely, as the governor, and they saying that they're endorsing her, they definitely going to give her some money, and probably a lot of money. But like last election, your union supported. I don't know if your union supported who they supported for mayor. I found that strange though. But teachers supported Scott Stringer. That's probably why they getting it bad from from Adams. Adams probably like, you ain't support me anyway, so I don't even care, you know. But it's very important. Like sometimes you got to play chess. I knew Adam Stringer. I mean, whatever his name, Stringer wasn't gonna win. I knew he wasn't gonna win. Adams or Catherine Garcia was the favorites. Why would the union support that? But something as simple as that, the members' voice need to be heard and say, hey, no, we don't want to support that candidate. If you support a candidate that's not gonna have our best interests, we're taking back our money. We're taking back our money. Now, like I said, those websites is nyccfb.info. Google search New York City Campaign Finance Board, it's going to come up, or Open Secrets, it's going to come up. And I also have some information regarding LM2s. A lot of people do not know what LM2s are. LM2s is a report that the union have to fill out every year to the DOL, and it explains how the union spend the money. Some of you guys will be surprised on how your union spend the money. If your union makes over $250,000 a year or $250,000 in receipts, then they have to fill out an LM2. The LM2 describes how much your union president and the officers make, right? Sophie, what I found, and the local have a LM2 and your international. So in your case, Sophie, for your international, I found out that your union president also get $50,000 from the international along with his local salary, right? So these guys is making a whole bunch of money in the union. It shows the consultants that they pay. It shows what they spend on elections. It shows how much the phone bill is they spend. Everything it's itemized, not to a T to daily activities, but it shows you a lot. Let me show you guys an example of what that looks like. Let me see.
So how, I just wanted to ask you a question. So I know you're coming from transit, which, right? You're coming from transit.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yes.
what's the union?
Local 100.
100. How is the impact of what's going on working on your end? I mean, do you find it to be more lenient towards, you know, your rights, or is it an everyday fight
Well, I'm
for,
gonna put it to you like this: we're probably the only agency in New York City that don't have a mandate.
even though the mayor of the city is enforcing it? The
The
union.
mayor don't the mayor don't control transit.
Mm.
The governor does,
Oh,
but
it's about the government.
the governor is smart enough to know that. I mean, I've been doing organizing on this topic since COVID hit, and I seen it coming. Like I said, when we were rallying in the streets for George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
um, I also kept in mind that, listen, something come down the pipeline. And in March 2020, I had a virologist on my show explaining this stuff. So I was already equipped with certain information to say, look, you guys need to pay attention. The teachers, I have teacher friends. I told my teacher friends, look, you guys need to start organizing now because they're going to come for y'all. Don't think that that remote learning, that thing go last forever. They're going to come for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody listened to me.
Mm.
And they end up coming for them. And my friends is like, yo, you was right, you was right, you was right. But yeah, we don't have a mandate. But like I said, Hoku is smart enough to know that if she was to mandate us, the city will stop moving.
You
Like
become
if they haven't,
patient. That's why.
yeah, if they having issues now, there's people that's going to hold the line in transit and say we're not getting this, and
And
it will it
rightfully
will
so. Rightfully so. I mean, it shouldn't come to that, but rightfully
it
so.
will affect the city. It will affect the city. But like
Right.
a firefighter, it's a tough choice because
It's
if
somebody's life on the line.
look what happened in the Bronx,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? Look what
Right.
happened in the Bronx, and we thankful for firefighters who are still at work to because it's a very important job. But
Right.
you still have to make a choice between being forced to do something that you don't want to do. So I respect both sides. I don't have no opinion on
Right.
either side. People go make the choice what's best for them and their family,
Correct.
and that's just
Right.
how it's going to work. But the LM2s, like I said, that the LM2s basically give a breakdown of how much um, your union spend. So this is what this form looks like, and like I said, it's itemized of how much union dues your union pull in a year. Like the UFT, they have over 150 million in assets. You know how much, like 150 million. They spend the UFT spend more money on officers than my union pull in a year. The UFT spends about $40 million on officer salaries. My union only bring in like $30 million total, right?
That's
So
insane.
yeah, I mean these guys is well paid. Like the UFT president, he makes 340 a year, and I didn't even go into the internet if what the international may pay him or whatever else they may get, or whatever. But all of that information is out there. It's available. It's for the members to look up and find out the business of your union. Literally follow the money. Literally see the mechanisms that's controlling our union presidents. Because, like Sophie said, why would my union support Hoku when the city is going to follow what the state do anyway? We already seen Adams and Hoku saying, hey, we finally a team. We're going to work together.
Mm.
So those mandates are going to come. Now, when I'm trying to get the members of whatever union you are part of, is to say, hey, look, you don't have to go along to get along. Pay attention to the politics that your union is playing. I'm going to give you guys the websites to look up your union and look up, to see how much they donate into certain politicians, what politicians they're donating to. Because, like in my union, when I first started this work of investigating the politicians they were supporting, I found out that my union gave Cuomo over $300,000
Mm.
in like 8 years. And I was bewildered because I said, hold on, Cuomo gave us tier six. He vetoed our tier six bill. He give us minimal raises. He don't care about women in the MTA because we still don't have light duty for women on the job. They still want women to climb trains 8, 9 months pregnant. Like, why are we giving this man our money? So I started a COPE. Drive about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I started a COPE drive. It was successful, and this time I started a COPE drive. I forgot what I started this one for. In November, I restarted it, but I got a few hundred members to opt out, and I didn't even push it hard, you know. And oh, it was over safety. I don't feel that the union was doing what they was doing for us over safety. So I said, look, y'all don't care. We don't care. Everything is Albany with them. Albany. Oh, I don't want to hear about Albany. We gonna start taking money so you won't be able to handle the Albany stuff and support people that don't have our best interest anyway. So, I did that. But I think that's what's needed. The first step, if you feel that your union is not representing your best interests through legislation or supporting politicians who are against your best interests, pull out of COPE. In fact, the UFT, they have a page. Sophie, your union don't have this, but it's the same mechanism. I no longer want to contribute to COPE. How do I opt out?
Okay.
Mostly in all unions, you just have to email your financial secretary treasurer, get their email, and say, I no longer want to contribute to COPE. And they have no choice but to take you out of COPE. It probably take like 1 or 2 pay cycles, but it should not take longer than that. And that's how you get out of COPE. COPE is a contribution. It's voluntary. You don't have to do it. And, the unions that make arguments like this, oh, if you get people to opt out of COPE, they never going to come back. No, people is going to support things that represent them. They are going
Right.
to come back. They are going to come back. Don't fall for that trickery. It's about time that we start holding our union accountable. People think that a union is only there to get you out of trouble when you're in trouble.
Right.
A union have a bigger role than that. They have a political role. They have a safety role. They have a more of a role than grievance and discipline. And we must hold them accountable for those roles, because what they're doing is, like in my union just be happy to take pictures with Cuomo because they done seen this guy father on TV. Like, these guys be fans of these politicians. It'd be more about them standing next to people than about the members to create change for us. Like, I can't think of nothing a politician did to benefit the lives of transit workers. The bar
Right.
is so low with our unions. The bar is very low. At the least that these politicians should say, hey, look, these guys worked through a pandemic. Nobody didn't care about no vaccine then. At the least we should be able to do with the real essential workers. Let's have a vaccine test at the least.
At
At
least.
the least.
Mm-hmm.
At
At
the
the
very
least.
least. Yep.
Yeah. But what they doing? They say, no, we're not doing that. We're going to mandate this. The unions is going to continue to give your money to politicians who's talking to mandate stuff. And then look at us
Yeah.
now. Look at us now.
Yep.
A lot of people don't understand we can fight back. There are ways to fight back. That's why I did this live. COPE, COPE, COPE. Get your union attention. I honestly think, Sophie, that you guys could do phenomenal things with the COPE, the boycott of COPE, to get your union attention.
Okay.
To get you,
I'm
because
definitely gonna bring awareness, to the members as much as I can. It's been hard keeping people engaged during this whole process for those who continue to be on LWAP. We have a Telegram chat that it started off with everybody, talking on it, and now it's gotten more quiet. People feel like they've gotten the shot. They can't participate anymore. Some people just feel like this fight is way bigger than us and they can't keep fighting the fight anymore. So it is what it is, but I keep trying to put information out and doing my part in this because I see this as bigger than all of us. This is more than a job. This is more than the mandates. This has to do with our personal freedoms. And if you don't see that, I don't know what else to tell you. So this is important.
No, it's very important. And like you said, some people got the shot, and I don't believe that everyone who got the shot is happy. You know, and I do think a lot of people feel like their union let them down. You know,
100%.
even the ones who got the shot. So this is the opportunity to reach out to them to say, hey, look, you guys did us wrong. You aligned yourself with politicians who don't have our best interests. Now we're going to start taking back our our COPE money to say, look, now you're not going to have no money to give to no politicians. Now you're going to
Hmm.
listen to the members, and we want more of an input on what politicians we support. You know, people normally support the politician with the household name or the person that's a part of a certain party. I mean, I don't subscribe to those type of politics. I
Right.
subscribe to, I don't care if you're Republican, conservative. I don't even know I try not even learn the definitions of those things. I don't want to know the definition of a fascist, Marxist, none of that. I subscribe to what's right and what's wrong. We're gonna keep this simple. I agree with it or I don't. I don't want to hear, oh, he's a left, he's on the left. I don't care what that is. A broke clock is wrong 2 times a day. Not everything that these political parties saying is wrong. Not everything they saying is right. I agree with Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives. You know, I find a little bit of stuff that I could agree with any one of them. So, you know, and that's what it has to be about. We have to support people who have our best interests. It's as simple as
Hmm.
that. It is as simple as that. We can't let them think that just because they're how many people you think, Sophie, is out right now, firefighters, because of the mandates?
On leave without pay, I think well, a bunch of people retired. That's one. So we lost a lot of senior members, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And we probably have over 100 that are still leave without pay since November 1st or shortly after that. And we probably have about 1,000 to 1,500 pending religious exemption, denial, appeals, and that sort of thing.
So they basically out without pay. Those religious
Those
exemption
that
people.
are pending their religious exemptions are not out yet. If well, there are some that put in for religious exemptions after an arbitrary deadline that are on leave without pay, or they went back after getting a shot. And then there's those with that put their religious exemptions in before or by October 27th, who are still being able to work under vaccine or test.
Okay, so see, what we have to be careful with is that we cannot allow them to control the narrative because they will spin it and say, hey, look, let's just say there's 10,000 firefighters. There's only 1,000 that's out because of the mandates. 9,000 firefighters are happy to get the vaccine and they are
Right.
here, right? No, that don't mean that they're happy. They just did it
No.
because a lot of people don't understand that this mandate stuff is economic warfare on us. It's economic warfare. Most of us can't afford to live in the city in which we work. How can you expect people to go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months without a paycheck? You
Right.
know, this shows that we not economically sound like that in this city. Everything is going up in this city but our
Hmm.
paychecks, right?
Yep. And they did it in a smart way. You know, they didn't do everyone at the same time. They started off little by little, seeing how much they could push. Let's do the healthcare workers. People think to themselves, oh, healthcare workers, that makes sense. They're around sick people. Okay. The teachers, oh, yeah, that makes sense. They haven't been working this whole time, and we don't know if kids spread it. And then it goes to the municipalities, the NYPD, the FDNY, the EMS. And no one's questioning it anymore because people just want to get back to normal, you know,
This is going to be the new
by
normal.
design.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
they going to keep this around for a long time.
Yep.
But you know, we got to continue to fight. We got to continue to not succumb to these political attacks because all of them say, oh, we need to follow the science. To me, it seems like they want us to follow political science, not
Yeah.
not the science. You know, they want to like we hear a whole bunch of politicians talking nonsense to us, and they not even making no sense. Like I think your union, Sophie, supported the Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine. I was going at it with him the other day because he was talking a whole bunch of nonsense, and he's
Mm,
pro-vaccine, and your union give this guy money all the time, all the
really?
time. That's why I say that this is very important to Google when you see your union give money to a certain candidate. Google them and see what their stance is. right? Because
Right.
there's not a,
Pretty much we need to understand that an endorsement means there's money behind that. And I don't think anyone, well, I know I can only speak for myself. I never thought that. I thought an endorsement was just that, like, this is who we want and that's it. Never did
no,
I think to myself that there was money from that we were getting money, that we were giving money to them.
yeah, you guys giving I mean, nobody give more than the teachers. The teachers give the most amount of money. But um, when a union say we endorse them, that means two things. That we're going to bring, if there's 10,000 firefighters, we're going to bring 10,000 votes your way, right? But what it means for politicians is that they go fill our coffers up. They go give me $1,000. They go give me $5,000. They go give me $100,000. Whatever it may be, that's what that means.
Mm,
So don't think that it's just words. No, there's a there's monetary behind that too. And every union have a COPE, have a PAC. That's how they survive. And like I said,
yeah.
COPE and PAC is not a bad thing. It gets certain laws passed for workers and things like that. But for this particular matter, that's something that's so serious, that's killing people, and people actually holding the line for. I think that members need to really pay attention to what's going on. Examine your the campaign finance board. Examine these LM2s. Examine the open secrets. Examine follow the money. Literally, like I said, that website literally got a tab called "Follow the Money." And normally, when you follow the money, you see the mechanisms that's controlling the people that's in control of the money.
Mhm.
Mm,
Well, thank you.
that's a lot to think about.
A lot to take in. I'm going to continue to listen.
Y'all think that's a lot? I mean, it felt like I ain't tell y'all
No,
that.
no,
No,
no.
I
I'm
mean,
satisfied.
it's,
I'm just going to continue
go
to
ahead.
come off, but I'm going to continue to listen.
Okay, cool. So
Appreciate
anybody out there that have
Thank you.
any no problem. Anyone who have any questions, you could tap into the live to ask me a question. I'll be on for a couple of more minutes. But it's very important that we start getting involved with the political side of our union, because that's where the big business is going on at. The big business is not going on when you get in trouble and hey, I need a union rep because I got written up or this and that. That's not where the big business is going. The big
Mm,
business is behind the scenes, the stuff that they don't explain to you. Like I said, Committee on Political Education. None of these unions educate their members on political education. None of them.
right. So that's really the takeaway that I'm getting from this is that to write to our unions, ask where their money is going, even though we can look at it ourselves. We want to hear from the horse's mouth. Tell us where this money is going to. And once we see it for ourselves and we research it ourselves, hold them accountable. Let them know, listen, if you are continuing to endorse this person, we have to take our money back and either find something else to do with that money on our own or group it together. And maybe we'll be funding our own politicians. Maybe we'll be talking to, our own people that are going to listen to us. Because, yeah, it is. No one wants to start our own unions. We want our unions to work for us. We voted for these people, not just work for us. It's like any other politicians. And, I find it funny that our union board has told us before, politicians only listen to two things, money and votes. So to me, that's like they kind of held a mirror to themselves. And this is only clear to me after talking to you that after saying that, that's what they do too. So if you're not listening to me and you're not listening to your 1,000+ members, then you're gonna listen to this money not coming in. And you're gonna listen to when it comes time to vote, you're gonna listen to these no votes.
Yeah, but
So
what you want to do is that um, I would say you want to skip one of those steps. You don't want to go to the union and ask them who they support. You want to go to your union and say, hey, look, I printed out everyone that you supported here. You supported someone who didn't have our best interests. You supported
mm,
someone who was against the mandates. You gave them $1,500. Why did you do that? Or
yeah.
I never heard this political person before. Why do we feel that we need to give them our money? How are they trying to help us in our jobs better? How are they
Mm-hmm.
trying to help us retire earlier, um, have a better quality of life? Like, these are the questions you have to ask your union reps of why they support certain people, right? Don't go in there and be like, oh, give it. No, you do your due diligence. You go on your
Okay.
computer, it takes 5 minutes. You print out all the papers, you look, you know what? I'm going to Google 3 people a day, even though you could do more than that. I just want to see what their
Right.
stance is. Hold on. Everybody they donated money to is standing with the mandates.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we supporting them? Right? Now, you with the question you ask yourself as a member is that, hold on, I'm contributing to COPE. So I'm giving my money is going towards politicians who is keeping me out of work. Nah, that have to change.
Yeah.
I need to be out of COPE ASAP, and then you start asking your questions. Pull back on your money first, then you start asking your questions. And then if it ever be a time where things get better, then be like, look, instead of donating $1.50, I feel good this time around. I'm going to donate $5
Mm.
per paycheck. You know what I'm saying? That's how it has to be done. The members must start taking control of their livelihood. Start being more
Right.
involved with your union. And like I said, I'm here for anyone who have questions. I could point you in the right direction regarding your COPE, regarding who your union spend money on, LM2 search. For some reason, I couldn't find you guys LM2. I'm interested to see it though, but
Mm.
sometimes it takes a little digging. But the good way to start is with to see what politicians your union give their money to.
All right.
I think that's a good place to start. And like I said, if you're a teacher, police officer, sanitation worker, I take care of my transit people. But any transit workers that never heard this before, firefighters, please reach out to me. Um, I will be sharing this information. I will send you the website. I will send you the links and start getting involved with your union. Any more questions, Sophie?
I think you've answered a lot. You've brought up a lot of good points that I don't even think were ever in my head up until now. So I just want to thank you for that. And I'll continue to pick your brain now and in the future about all this stuff for sure.
No, no problem. And for everyone watching out there, make sure you share out this information. The information is only valuable if people who don't know what this stuff we talking about is, and we get them involved to understand what this stuff is. It's time to start getting involved politically with your union. No more excuses. What led to
Yeah.
this, all these mandates anyway, was because we take a hands-off approach with the political side of our unions. It's not too late.
Yeah.
There's going to be more
100%.
issues. There's going to be more issues. This is going to be the issue. This is the issue that's going to wake the members up to say, hey, now I'm going to be politically involved in my union. We got to start coalition building within other unions.
Mm-hmm.
The Uniform Firefighters Association is not alone. Um, TWU Local 100, we stand with you guys. The PBA is not alone on this issue. We stand with you guys. Everyone needs to stand together. We need to create one union coalition and strike back at once regarding these politicians. And I want to say something about these politicians. These politicians work for us. We do not work for these politicians.
Mm-hmm.
The game is twisted. Even with your union reps, your
Yeah.
union president do not work um work you
We
don't
don't,
work for the
yeah,
union
we don't
president.
work for them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they
Just like
work
our
for
government. They work for
exact
us.
exactly. But
We've lost
somehow,
that.
some way, yeah, it got lost. It got lost.
Yep.
Like these people work, they are servants. They work
Yeah.
for us. We don't work for
We
them.
we've gotten complacent as a people, as a nation. We've gotten distracted. We haven't had hard times in a long time. Even the small hard times that we have here and there, it doesn't compare to having war on your steps all the time. It doesn't compare to like what some third world nations go through. So we're soft, and people don't have a lot of fight in them and they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see outside of this. what's on their phone, what's on their IG, and granted, we have to use IG Live because that's what everybody's using now to get our point across. But,
Hmm.
people are distracted and they're complacent and they got to find that fight.
Yeah, they have to. And we got to take back control of the narrative. We do not work for them. We, the people, deserve more, and power concedes nothing without a demand. Nothing was going to
Hmm.
happen with us sitting on our couch and saying everything's going to be all right, or these kumbaya moments or whatever. We got to be more confrontational. We got to go to our union meetings, right? Because a lot of these unions, a lot of these politicians, I say this all the time, they like to be corrupt in peace. What that mean?
Right.
They want to be corrupt and they don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be challenged. Nothing. They just want to be corrupt and say, that's
Yeah.
it. Start being more confrontational. I'm not saying being violent. I'm saying be more confrontational. Be in a
Hmm.
face. Ask the
Yeah.
necessary questions. Come with the receipts. Come with the invoices, whatever you want to call it. But we have to start confronting all of these people, the union reps, the politicians. No more going
Hmm.
along to get along. I don't subscribe to the go along, get along gang. I never will.
Yeah.
Never will. But yeah, we go leave it there for now.
All right, Jamal. I really appreciate this live session with you. And I hope that this information gets out. I know I'm going to do my part to get it out. And like I said, I'll continue to pick your brain. Thanks for everybody for joining.
No problem. Let me see if I now let me see. How do I take you off?
Maybe I just leave.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a,
Let me try. I'm going to X out. All right. Thanks, Jamal.
no
Have a good
problem.
night. Be safe.
No problem. You too. So yeah, I hope that this information that I gave was informational informational to you guys. I hope that you guys can do something with this information. Once again, share out this live. Um, uh, you could check me out. Make sure you get people to follow the page. I have to get more followers on this page, and so I could do more informational sessions regarding COPE, regarding PAC, regarding LM2s, and other things and mechanisms that control the union, in which the members could take action on. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.